Hello YouTubies, this is the Scribe and thank you for watching this YouTube video. I want to talk about questioning everything, which seems to be a really big thing in the alternative community nowadays. Now, I had a word with Vinny Eastwood on, Facebook, and he actually pointed something out that I wasn't actually putting in the correct words. I actually worded it wrong when I was actually saying to him, I don't think anybody should question anything, really. Um, it's not really what I actually meant. What I mean about not questioning every single thing you hear is that sometimes it's complete and utter waste of time. This is how I see it. I've lived a long time in comparison to the young folk out there on YouTube and the internet. I'm getting close to 40, so I've lived quite some time. And in my experience, I have never known the media not to manipulate in some type of fashion. They always manipulate somewhere. Sometimes it's very hard. In fact, sometimes it can seem a benign story. And then you ask, well, why would they actually print that? And then you suddenly realize they've actually missed out something that's more important in the world, or even in that area. They didn't want to report that, so instead they reported something else that was more benign, but meant nothing. So it was a complete waste of time actually reading it in the first place. But usually when they actually write their stories, they sort of embellish it a lot if something happens in the world. So things are more worse, they're more dramatic than they actually were. So they're more or less almost lying there. In fact, they're exaggerating, so they are actually telling the story. But also, they they can complete and utter lie their arse off as well. So it's either that or they just come up with a load of bollocks in their stories. For instance, they will one day say that sugar is bad for you, and the next day say everything in moderation. And the next day, another journalist on their site will say something like, um, "Sugar is good for athletes," and then they'll say, "Fat's terrible for you. Keep away from saturated fat." Later the next week, another journalist will say completely opposite. So somebody is lying somewhere. And they always come up with the way they phrase things as well. They say the truth, and there's so many different techniques. They say could, perhaps, maybe be a cure or something. And when you actually look at the word, they then start talking about as if it is the cure. So you know they're probably bullshitting there or they're misdirecting somewhere. But no matter what you see, I challenge anybody to actually find a single story in any of your tabloids where there isn't some type of manipulation going on. Even simple ones. The simplest story in your tabloid papers, there will be some type of manipulation going on. Now, let me tell you what manipulation is. For instance, let's say if something looked a bit benign. Let's say they were saying that, in fact, men's activist people, they should actually be more respected. Men do have problems here and there. And what they'll do here is they'll make it sound very good and say, yeah, men need to see their children more often, etc. But they'll miss out some vital aspects of that, like men are really treated badly by the justice system. They're less believed in certain circumstances. They're more likely to have to look after children that are not their own and be forced to do so. The list goes on and on and on. But the tabloids will report it as if it's a good, they're supporting this men's activist movements or whatever. And after reading these type of things, you just know they're leaving the door open. That's all they're doing. They're leaving the door open so they can infiltrate that movement and turn it into a hate campaign against women. That's exactly what's going to happen there. So just like the feminist movement has been infiltrated by these fuckwits, the same will happen to the men's activists. Now, the men's activist movement is not too bad, but I'm starting to notice they're not talking about important things anymore. Like they talk about video games. That just seems like shills in the video game industry trying to fix their problems. They're not interested in what men's problems actually are, so they go that direction. Anyway, this is getting a little bit off topic. I'm just saying, in any media outlet, whatever they report is always manipulation. I don't have to question it anymore. I don't say, well, is this true? I just say this is bollocks. You know, they're up to something here. They're obviously up to something. I might not be able to see it straight away, but they're up to something. So my first question, if I'm going to question anything, will be, do I feel asked to actually even look at what they've written today? Do I feel asked even looking at the news reports? Can I even be asked to actually watch anything on TV? That's more or less what I think. Now, I also disagree with the alternative community in some places where they say you shouldn't watch anything that's made by media companies or whatever. Right, so I'm not allowed to watch Jurassic Park just because there might be some environmental bullshit in it. I'm not allowed to watch Terminator or Alice in Wonderland or whatever because it's made by big companies. I think people should just chill out a little bit. I also noticed that in a lot of these films, there's always something in it that ends up to be it's a manipulation of the system yet again. But I tend to ignore it. And that's my first step now. Whenever I see anything written by these tabloid nutcases, I just blank it completely. I don't even bother with it anymore. In fact, the last time I read a newspaper was years ago. I mean, I have bought a few newspapers in the past when maybe something's been written. But after a while, I was just teething the fuck because I realised they were manipulating all along. And I say leaving a door open in some cases because they do that a lot. Something can be seen completely benign, but they just want to infiltrate that system. That's why they wrote about it in the first place. They want to infiltrate it. They want to write a load of bullshit stories, put their own people, their own shills in there, and turn it into a scumbag movement. That's exactly what they do. So be careful, stuff like that. I mean, because I don't read many tabloids anymore, it's fine. I don't have to worry about this. But as I said, I don't question anything they write anymore because I just completely fucking ignore it. There's no need to waste my time questioning anything. Questioning the author's intention here. I don't even bother with that anymore. Even on the news reports on BBC or ITV or whatever country you're in, I don't go around watching this stuff and thinking what's up here and are they telling the truth. I just say they're manipulating somewhere. Something's going down. They want to do something, so they're fixing it this way. And then I look at it and I notice they are actually manipulating people. They're gaslighting people. And I've never seen anything different, so I don't feel the need of questioning anything in the media anymore. I don't question anything whatsoever because I'm not wasting my time on those fuckwits. That's as simple as I can put it. They always lie somewhere. Even when it looks like they're not lying, they're lying. And that's basically how the media system actually works. They need to make it more dramatic so people actually watch it. And most of the time they lie. But gaslighting is done even more. I mean, the biggest hypnotic device in your life is the TV. The biggest problem in your life is probably the internet nowadays, actually, but is the TV and the media. But I now say that the internet might actually start to become a problem in the future. But as I said, you don't have to question everything because sooner or later you're going to start wasting your time. I've seen the flat Earth movement. Why is it? Let me ask this question: why is the flat Earth movement being advertised by the alternative media or the alternative people in that media? For instance, people are well respected, and they're putting it on their pages all the time for thousands upon thousands of people to see. Of course, people are going to link up and watch it. You're only enhancing that cult. You're only enhancing it. That's the problem. And then again, these people start talking about jinns invading people's body, etc. I mean, it gets ridiculous. But I don't know. I personally think people need to chill out sometimes, and I also think I need to put things in better words than I actually do. But yeah, I personally think that the media is just full of bollocks. I've never known it not to be. Can anybody challenge me here? Can you find anything in the media that's been written today? Anything at all, right? As long as it's not something, just a few lines, for instance, like somebody's dead or something, you know, and they give the little thingy, or a bit of advertisement. Forget about that. I want anything they've written in the media sent to me, right? And I will find a problem with it. I will find where they're manipulated somewhere. I can more or less tell immediately where bullshit actually is. I've seen stories that have basically no relevance whatsoever. You ask them why they're writing a no relevant story in the first place. Why can't they write something that's relevant? You know, they don't want people to know that shit, so they just waffle on. In fact, the newspaper is just basically a fictional piece of thing that you should be wiping your asses off. Anyway, thank you for watching. Goodbye for now. See you later. Bye bye.